Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In top 10 Java interview question series, this is video number 3. I'm going to discuss most frequently asked question in this video. So let's begin with the video. So here is the question number 1. What is this keyword in Java? So this keyword is a reference variable and it refers to current class, instance or object. Using this variable, we can refer instance method, we can refer instance variable as well as we can refer constructor. Also, we can pass this as argument to a method or a constructor. Also, we can use this keyword for returning current class instance in a method. So in method, if you want to return current class instance as a value, then you can use this keyword. Now here is the question number 2. What is the difference between heap memory and the stack memory in Java? So let's discuss. So stack memory is a portion of memory that is assigned to every individual program in Java. So whenever you create a program in Java, stack memory is assigned and it is always fixed. And heap memory is a portion of memory that is not allocated to the Java program, but it is available for the use by Java program whenever it is required. So mostly whenever runtime extra memory is required, then this heap memory can be used. And how Java utilizes this memory? So when we write a Java program, whatever variable we are having, whatever method we are having, all that are stored in stack memory. And whenever we create any object of a program or a class, then that object is created in the heap memory and it was a reference from the stack memory. So this is the way how Java uses heap memory and the stack memory. Let's go to the next question. Here we have, what are the different types of variables in Java? So in Java we have 3 types of variable: static variable, local variable and instance variable. So let's discuss static variable. Whenever you create any variable using static keyword, then that becomes static variable. And static variable is allocated only once for the variable. Like these variables are shared among different instances of a class. Only one copy of static variable is created. Okay. So static variable, if you are making, you cannot make static variable as a local variable. So let's discuss what is local variable. So whenever you declare any variable inside the body of a method, that variable will be called as local variable, and you cannot make local variable as static variable. Okay, so like you cannot make static variable as local variable, and similarly you cannot make local variable as static variable. Now the third type of variable which we are having as instance variable. So instance variables are always declared inside the class and outside the method body. An instance variable cannot be declared as static. You cannot declare instance variable as static. Instance variable values is not shared among other instances. Okay, like static variable values are shared among all the instances of a class, but instance variable values are created separately for each of the instances. So these were the types of variables in Java. Let's move to the question number 4. What is Java string pool? Okay, so let's understand what is string pool. So whenever we are creating string variable, that variable values are stored in heap memory. Okay, so collection of strings in Java heap memory is referred to as Java string pool. You can see here I have 2 values, apple and mango, and if I have more values, all these values are stored in heap memory, and that together are called, collectively they are called string pool. Okay, so for example here, if you can see, I have a variable s1 which is having value apple, s2 which is having value mango, s3 again having value apple. So these are what string variables. So now how it will be stored in your Java heap memory? So here S1 is having apple, S2 is also having apple. So what will happen? The variables are having same value, then no different memory is allocated to that variable. That will be shared in the string pool. So here you can see S1 is pointing to apple, S3 is also pointing to apple because the values are same. In case you try to create a new string object, JVM first checks for the presence of the object in the pool. So here we are trying to create S3. So what JVM will do, it will check whether S3 is there in string pool or not. So if it is available, then what will happen? The object reference is shared with the variable, else a new object is created. So since we are already having apple value, so no new reference will be created, only this will be used. And here you can see we are having mango, and mango nowhere existing already, so it will create a new object for mango. So that is what string pool and how strings are stored in Java heap memory. Okay, now then we have another question as, can we declare constructor as final? So the answer for this is no, we cannot declare constructor as final. So whenever we are declaring constructor with a final keyword, then we will get error or exception like modified final not allowed. So this error you will get when you declare constructor as final. Now the question number 6 we have, what is the singleton class in Java? So singleton class can be defined as a class that consists of only one instance. So whenever you want to create, or whenever you want to limit the objects, like you want only one objects of a class, then you can create a singleton class. Okay, in this class all the method and variable belong to only one instance. Only one instance of that class will be created, hence it is called as singleton class. Okay, now next question, what are the different ways to overload method? So what is the meaning of overloading? Overloading is nothing but a method with the same name, but a number of arguments or types of argument differs in the same class, then they will be called as method overloading. So here we have two types of method loading. We can do method overloading by changing the data type of an argument. So if we are passing two arguments, then if the data type is different, then again that is overloaded method. Or we can change the number of argument. The same method we are creating in the class, but one time we will create with 2 parameter, next time we will create with 3 arguments, next time we will create with 4 argument or without argument, and so on. So by changing the number of argument or by changing the type of argument, we can overload methods in Java. Next question, why method overloading is not possible? Only by changing the return type. So if you just only change the return type, then we don't call that as method overloading. Method overloading can only be done either by changing the number of arguments or by changing the type of argument. So the reason behind this is what? Ambiguity. So method overloading is not possible only by changing the return type. So if you only change a return type, then compiler will get confused which method is to be called. So that is called ambiguity. Okay, question number 9. Why Java is not considered to be purely object oriented? So there is a reason that Java supports primitive data types such as int, byte, long, boolean, and so on. And a pure object oriented language must only supports object. So these are not objects, these are what? Primitive data types. So but Java supports primitive data type as well as reference data type. So it's not pure object oriented language. Primitive data types are not object, and Java is not considered to be purely object oriented programming language. Now the last question, what is the difference between equals method and double equal to operator? So the first difference is what? Double equal to is operator and equals is a method. Okay, so both this equals and double equal to is used for comparing what? String objects or checking with equality of object. So both this double equal to and equals method is used for comparing the objects. So let's see what is double equal to. So this is an operator and it compares the references or a memory location of an object in the heap. So if you are having same memory location, then it is going to return you true value. And equals method in Java compares the actual content of the object. So for example, if I take you to again that diagram, that is string pool or heap memory. So here you can see S1 is pointing to apple, S3 is also pointing to apple. So here if I compare, S1 is equal to S3. So what it is doing, it is returning me true because S1 is also pointing to same location and S3 is also pointing to same memory location. Hence it is returning me true. But if I see S1 and S2, so S1 is pointing to this location and S2 is pointing to this location, two other memory location, hence it is returning me false. So this is what, nothing but double equal to operator. So equals method is used to check actual value of your object. Okay, so these were all 10 questions for today's video. So guys, I conclude my video. I hope you enjoyed watching this question. If yes, then don't forget to hit on like button. And if you have any kind of query or if you have any type of interview questions, you can share me through comment box. And guys, if you are new to my channel, please visit my channel. I have lots of video related to programming languages. Also, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to my channel to support me and my channel. Thank you guys for watching my video till end. I'll see you in my next video. Till then, bye bye and take care.